What is up, everybody? We are live. Got Rodney and Average Joe here. We are in for our, I guess, probably third week streaming live for Unplugged. Average Joe is filling in for Adam DeLay, who is not with us tonight, and we're happy to have him. So I'm glad everybody's here. We've got a few in the already lining up. I see we've got some people watching. I don't see the chat yet, so I'm not sure if we've got any chats coming through. But I'm going to go ahead and just hand it over to Rodney to introduce himself. Since we're streaming on my channel tonight, Rodney, and then you can hand it over to Joe. We'll go from there.
Oh, yeah. Well, one thing I want to say is, hey, I'm Rodney Hunt, of course. A lot of you guys are going to know us. The stream does look good. I'm looking at it on the iPad over here. You guys let us know how the sound is, and we'll go ahead and get into this thing. Go ahead and let Average Joe go ahead and introduce himself for anybody that doesn't know.
Are you ready for me?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on here, and thank you, Adam, for not being here because that's the only way I can weasel my way in. Anyway, I'm Average Joe, and I do a lot of DIY videos. If you haven't seen them or not, I do a lot of stuff with lithium iron phosphate batteries, and I used to do a lot of stuff with the lithium ion batteries, and I also do solar as well.
Very cool. Glad to have you guys. I'm right now jumping over into the stream, and I'm setting a goal. We're gonna say if we get 5 super chats tonight, and I'm gonna drop this thing low, any color, $2 or greater. If we get 5 super chats, which would be a record for us. We will stick on the live stream for another 30 minutes. We are going to keep it to exactly an hour because we do have, assuming we don't hit our goal, because we do want to just be considerate of everybody's time. We have families that we want to get back to. Y'all probably have families you want to get back to. So we're going to do that. In the chat, we've got Off-Grid Wannabe. Hey, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Chris and Kevin Worth. It's tiny script and I can't read, so there we go.
Like me.
Yeah. Glad y'all are here. Hey, everybody who's hanging out right now, go ahead and put in the chat where you are from. It's just always fun. I'm in East Texas Homestead. Rodney, where are you from?
North Carolina, southeastern North Carolina.
Yeah. And Joe?
And I am right in the center of the United States here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska. All right. Good. Nice. All right. Chris says it sounds fine here, so that's good. And Kevin's from Kansas. Nice. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into the question. And I see, thanks for marking that with the Q there. That's great. 6000 XP with 2 indoor wall mount batteries. Okay, so I guess the question, I guess I should bring this up on screen. We can do this, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if you can do it.
Let's see if I can. I don't remember how.
I'm glad you're doing it, not me, because I have
all right, let's jump over here. And then do I just click on it? I think I do.
Just click add to broadcast. It should be
there
right
we go.
There you go.
Oh, that looks terrible though. It's all in like the wrong spot and stuff. There we go. All right. Something reboots at 100%. And let me get the logo out of the way just because that's blocking things. There we go. Try to get, sorry, I don't know why it came in so large. It's a big question, I guess. All right. When it hits 100% system, something reboots. Changed voltage and problem went away. Any ideas? Man, that's frustrating. That's for sure.
And that's a 6000 XP. I mean, the first thing I would try to do is do a firmware update just to make sure that's not a problem. Because I know the 12,000 XP had that problem where it would get to 100% and it would start having errors and stuff like that, and they needed to do a firmware update. So that's probably the first thing I would try. I haven't seen it before on mine, but weirder things have happened.
Sometimes it reboots. Okay. Yeah, I haven't experienced that myself. I tell you what, though, if you don't mind, go ahead and put that as a comment or a question in the actual chat, not the live chat, but the the video chat, and I will be sure to follow up with that. So that'll make it a little bit easier to follow up.
I'm curious to how many batteries you have connected to it, because I'm thinking maybe if one of them goes into like a fault of some sort, maybe the inverter resets, shuts off.
Okay. Yeah, that could be it.
Just a thought, because I mean, with an older system that I've had weird stuff like that happen, but it wasn't with the 6000 XP. It was with, I think it was with the Grow Watt that I had. Still have it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Something to be aware of for sure.
Yeah, battery protocol. Yeah. Actually, you know what? It could be the battery protocol.
Okay. What are you thinking on that? Just the dip switches being in the wrong position, or?
We don't know what kind of batteries he has.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't have them matched up to the inverter, then.
All right. Off-grid want to be coming in from Canada. Pretty cool, man. That's awesome. Okay, so everything's up to date, and let's see. Yeah, 2.5.
And it says 2 indoor wall mount batteries, so it sounded like EG4 to me.
Oh, he did say that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So are you using CAN communications?
SoC was set to 90. Okay. Yeah. EG4 setup with comms.
Hey, Dad.
All right. That's interesting. I guess the monitoring app that we're using here to go live, or not monitoring app, but Ecamm, it's a little slower than the actual live chat down here. So I'm looking at stuff, but it's coming in slower.
Yeah, I'm no help with those because I don't have those batteries.
Butch Williams, because that's Mr. Average Joe's dad over here.
Yep.
Very nice. Welcome. And Bebop, howdy. Good to see you again. Always good to see you on these streams. All right, so EG4, yeah. I don't have any other.
I have one indoor battery, and it works flawlessly with the CAN communications. I haven't had a problem with it, so I am not sure. I would definitely be using CAN, but other than that, I don't know.
Howdy, Donnie. Welcome. Good to have you here. All right. Go ahead and line up any additional questions that any of y'all might have, and we'll talk through them. But while y'all do that, I'll just go ahead and ask Joe, Average Joe here, what's your channel all about? What's your specialty? What do you do? Like, for those who, if there's anybody here who's not familiar with you, which is unlikely, but
sure.
if that is.
Sure. I mean, there could be plenty.
It's a big world.
So I am an average Joe for the most part. I mean, I just try to mess with literally everything. And I guess my channel is mainly about DIY batteries, although I haven't really done a lot of DIY lately, but started out being DIY actually with these style batteries right here. I still have this battery pack. I don't know if anybody's watching that was around whenever I built that. That was a winter test. But so it's all about battery storage, solar. I wouldn't say too much into like inverters, but I have done a couple inverter reviews. Obviously lately everybody's getting into the lithium iron phosphate chemistry, so that's where we all kind of moved to. Yeah, it's mainly batteries and solar, and I would say, although I don't really say it very often, I guess my channel or what I it's kind of hard to say. I do this for like emergency preparation, or I would say I'm a low key prepper, but I don't. you know what I'm trying to say here. I do most of this stuff. Like that's how it started.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just switch a little bit how it
put
all
me
started.
too in the comments if you started because you were a prepper and then you ended up moving into solar.
I would be interested to hear your guys' story too, because you might have already said it in one of your other streams and I missed it. But so well, first I have to say, of course, my dad got me into it. That would be the short story. But the long story is back in 2007 when we bought our house. It was like January 7th, and it was really, really cold out. And I don't remember if it was that winter or if it was the following winter. Our power went out in the winter, and there's like 16 inches of snow outside. And us being new homeowners, of course, we didn't know anything about houses. We didn't know anything about anything, honestly. We do have fireplaces, but again, being a new homeowner, we didn't have any firewood. We weren't prepared for anything. I mean, we probably had, like a couple of days worth of food type of stuff. So I had to go to like the nearest wooded area, which is a few miles away, and just try to find any sort of wood that we could burn to keep warm. Luckily, power did come back on probably within 20 hours or something like that. But it could have been really, really bad because it was below zero. It was cold. So that's how like this whole like tinkering type of stuff started. And my first little setup, if you want to call it that, was we had a boat at the time. I took the batteries out of that for wintertime. They were lead acid. 12-volt batteries, and I had a little 600-watt inverter from Harbor Freight with that little setup. And then I set that up in here basically in the wintertime, so if we ever had any sort of power outage, then I could have something.
Right.
And then it kind of just slowly grew from there because that same night or same day, whenever we lost power and it was cold as all get up, there was like this mental note or promise that you say to yourself that this will never happen again. And that's stuck with me ever since. And that's how this all became what it is today. All because of one power outage in the wintertime. I did not want to be that guy.
Yeah. I had. Go ahead, Rodney.
I would say that mine's kind of the same thing. Mine's all about just being able to take care of my family. I don't want them looking at me during an emergency and saying, why don't you have this ready for us? What do we do? And so, I mean, I was in the military and stuff, and I've been in situations where you don't have what you need. And I told myself, I said, I'll never be like this again. I'm talking literally running out of water in the desert. So I take water with me everywhere. I will never go anywhere in a vehicle, anywhere without water, because I ran out of water before, and it's serious. People, they don't really think about it because everything's just so easy to get now. But you never know what kind of situation you're going to find yourself in where you break down. You could be not near anybody. Who knows what will happen? But that's how I got into solar is, just trying to be more prepared for my family and take care of myself, be more self-reliant. So we had Hurricane Matthew. And that's what kind of pushed me over the top because we lost power for like 4 days or something like that. I had generators and stuff, so I was somewhat prepared compared to a lot of people. I had plenty of fuel, generators, but running that stuff all the time is a pain. And then if it's long term, you're gonna run out of gas at some point.
Through fuel so fast.
So you never know how long it's gonna be. Our whole county was basically flooded, so the power was out for a while in some places like weeks. And so I told myself after that, I said I'm gonna get at least a little solar setup. And basically, I ended up starting out with 10 panels and one inverter, like a grow watt and 10 panels. And I wanted to be able to have a backup, and I had like one battery. And so I had 5 kilowatts of power, and then it just kind of grew from there. And now it's just like a hobby like anything else. And, hey,
I do want to add
still
one
trying to
thing.
get more prepared.
Yeah.
With the 2 12-volt batteries, the marine batteries that I had, that's where it all spawned into. And my first real setup was a big bank of 12-volt golf cart batteries, the 6-volt Trojan T105s, and then just a small solar array and a 3,000-watt inverter, and I had that for like right before I started this channel. That's crazy. I had it for like 10 years. Worked great.
Yeah. Crazy.
And I would tell a lot of people, you can start very, very small. You ain't got to start.
No, you
You need to
can.
start wherever you can. You can get an inverter, and if you have a vehicle, it's basically a generator, and you can plug up that little battery inverter, plug it up to that, and have a little bit of lights or whatever in your house. And I'm telling you, lights or charging your phone is better than nothing. That's for sure.
It is.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, I started in a very similar fashion. I guess back in 2008, no, it wasn't 8, probably 9 or 10. I ended up with 2 just, flooded lead acid batteries and a Schumacher inverter and a couple little, peripherals or whatever to go along with it, and the ability to basically charge a phone and an 800 watt inverter, which I've still got. And then that grew to where I ended up acquiring probably 15 leaded acid batteries, and I had those all together, and I ended up killing them, and they were in pretty bad shape to begin with. But they don't like being treated the way I treated them. And then as a prepper, I had my generator. I faithfully started that thing all the time, and snowpocalypse hit down here in Texas in 2021. And,
oh, right. Were you prepared for that?
Well, I thought I was. I had all the things that I thought I needed, but what ended up happening was I yanked on that cord for my generator, and it was so cold, and I guess when I must have let go or something, it ended up snapping the fuel line off of the valve in a way that was not repairable in the field. Like I couldn't do anything to get it back. And so day one, my generator's down. But then on top of that, even if I had the generator going, we have a 5-horse well pump that no generator can actually, it needs a 60 amp 220 breaker. So you're not going to find that on any generator.
So what? I'm just curious because I don't have a well pump and I'm not sure how all that's rated. Why do you need such a? I guess is that a big one?
It's a big one. It's really deep.
It seems big.
It's
okay.
It is. Yeah, it's really deep, and we plan to have multiple homes out here, so that's why we put that in. We thought we'd have more people living out here earlier to live off of that one well, so that's why we put it in. It's way overkill, but nonetheless, it's where it is.
Makes
so
sense.
At that point, it was like the only thing that I know to do is to use some inverters. And I started off with the 6000 EXs because of the large motor inside them. Yeah.
The yellow ones, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
So I started with those. Being low frequency, I was like, I know these will work, and they did. They worked great. And until they didn't. But that's a different story. So yeah, that's what it was like. When all of our animals started dying and we didn't have any water and it was like 14 degrees inside our house, we were like, okay, I think we need to do something. So it was like, never again. We're never going to do that again.
So was it right after that is when you got into the solar and batteries, or did you have
Yeah. That's when I decided, like, we're gonna invest in this. We're gonna figure out how to make it work. And so that's where I started kind of scheming to figure out how I could use a free plan and just batteries, or free nights plan, just batteries, and take that. And then we took out a loan to buy the initial equipment, and the cost of the loan was less than our electric bill, or to service the loan. And so it's like, well, this actually makes out better for us. And then once it's paid off, then we've got it all, all the equipment and free energy, and it just seemed to be a good move. So yeah. That's how we got into it.
That's awesome.
So AveRage, I'm about to call him AveRage Joe. So Joe, do you know about his old free power at night stuff? I guess he's watching the live.
Nope.
Probably.
No, I didn't.
So you don't know about that? Oh my.
No,
goodness.
I don't.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell him that, Eric. So somebody else might not know that as well. So
yeah. So it's basically the same thing as just the peak shaving concept, but instead of getting a discount at a certain time frame, I get free energy at from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I don't have any panels that are making any difference. I just charge up my batteries and I do anything that needs to be done at night.
At night?
And,
Yeah.
you know, then during the day,
Wow.
we just run off the batteries and, you know, we use about $400 or $500 worth of electricity and I pay for the hookup fee. That's kind of how that typically works.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
He's scamming them.
Wow.
They seem to be
So
all right
you
with
get
it.
so you get free electricity at night,
Mm-hmm.
so you can run it empty during the
Mhm.
daytime and just so you don't really need an array unless the grid goes out like the
Right.
snowstorm.
And at which point I have loads of gas generators and I do have 80 solar panels on a pallet that I can just lay out if I have to.
Right.
It's not the best thing to do. I tried that for a while and they shorted out and that was bad, but it's a different story. Yeah.
80
Eric's
panels.
got some good ones.
Huh. But you got the room to just lay them right out though too.
Most everything we have is just woods, so it is tough to find a spot that's in the sun. But I do have, you know, I've got a bunch of videos, and we do have pasture about 300, 400 feet that way. I'd get some voltage drop for sure, but it would work out to get the power over here. We could make it work.
I think so.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that want that plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have never
power
heard
at
of
night.
this before ever.
No,
It's awesome. Yeah. And we actually we had the plan for about 2 years before. This is actually kind of cool. 2 years before we went with the solar and batteries and stuff. I always call it solar, but I don't use the solar. Well, I pay them extra. I do pay them $10 a month, so I get a all solar energy plan. I pay them an extra $10. It's supposed to be renewable energy.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really help me sleep
Just
better
give
at
me
night.
free electricity at night.
Yeah. But before we did that, we still had this plan. And I would just, you know, we make sure like when we're running the dishwasher, we, you know, schedule it to go at night, you know, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And like during the winter time, I would use space heaters and I would make these like thermal benches and I would take it down in the summertime and put it back up in my living room. I would take cinder blocks and lay them on their side so they've got a hole running this way. And then at the end of it would come back up and then it'd come back the other way. And it had like a nice cedar finish on it and a tile top. And then I would blow a space heater with forced air down the bottom and it would go through it and come up and out the other side.
Yeah.
And
then you got the floor heating up too.
Yeah, and the floor heats up and then that thing would radiate the most beautiful heat all morning long. And so, you know, 7 o'clock is on a smart plug. It would just click off. And then the kids would wake up and they'd go straight over and sit on the hard tile. But, you know, we've got these comfortable leather couches, but it felt so good to just go sit on it and it would just suck the heat or the cold out of you. That was nice. So yeah, we do little hacks like that all the time. And just make sure that our water would fill up at night, you know, or fill up the goat waters or whatever, just on a timer, and anything we could do to maximize that free energy. Yeah. And now we're really utilizing it. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome too.
Looks like Mike might have a question, and we got a couple of super chats.
Do we really? How about that? Oh man, look at that, Rodney. Oh, hold on. We can do this. Where's it at? Hold on. I was prepared for this. There
we go. Nice.
All right. Well, thank you, Rodney. Right? Look at that. You're trying to help us out there. We're gonna have to stay late.
And we got Bebop too. Got one.
Yeah. Okay. So the first, I guess Mike is the first question I see here. Let me jump over and right in the way. So I'm going to move it, kind of get back down over here. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Mike. Eric. Okay. So how deep is your well, Eric? My well guy told me I'd have to go 1,200 feet. Whew. I have to for cisterns, and we keep about 5 months of water storage now. Man, that's awesome. No, we did not have to go that far. We're at 800 feet. So 1200 is a good bit farther. We did 800, but then I'm actually going about 1,000 feet from the well uphill to my house. So, you know, and then I sent it another 300 feet back to the back of my property. So we are quite a ways away, but that 800 feet of head pressure, that's, or 1,200 feet, that's a lot. And a very expensive well, I assume.
Yeah,
Donnie's,
I think wells are probably real expensive.
Yeah. It was cheaper though for us than to get the county to bring in water. My final decision commit came from watching Eric's video of him running his well pump off a 6000 XP. Mine is half the size of his, and I knew that if it worked for him, I was all in after that. Yeah, because I did one where I had that massive well pump that just one of these guys, I turned them all off except for that one right there, and it ran the 5-horse pump, which pulled 50 amps continuously and spiked over that, I believe, if I'm remembering right. So yeah, that was
you ran it off of one?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, 25 amps continuously. But
I was going to say, that's a lot of power coming out of a 25 amp.
Up to 50.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
It's like that's that free energy that Texas has.
Yeah. Yeah, the sun, it really does it. Yeah, no, I think it was, yeah, if I'm remembering right, I think it was 25. Okay. And I think it spiked up to around 50. The video's out there. I'm probably lying about that, but it's there. And then, yeah, then it convinced Donnie to make the decision, and he just got his equipment a week or so ago. So I'm curious, Donnie, if you've got your equipment in at this point, or if you've done anything. I know you've had snow on the ground. Oh man, check that out. Off-grid wannabe. All right, we got a 2-cent rate for night in Ontario, but the delivery fee kills you. Oh man.
What's the delivery fee?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Just like a maintenance fee, I guess.
Yeah, ours is like, so we pay our vendor, but then we also have to pay the Encore who owns the lines. So they get a delivery fee. And I think for us, it's like $5. Yeah, 800 is still deep. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all relative, you know, because I mean, you go out into some of these like massive, you know, out West Texas wells that are just insanely deep. But yeah, it's a deep well. There's a lot of people around us that are just at, you know, 100, 200 feet. Bebop, think wells around here run about 350. Yeah. Okay, it's called the Big Flat Watershed. Right. Did I miss any other questions? Let's see. Chris, let's see. I built a small 24-volt system on our shed as it was going to be too expensive to get power to it. 2 300-watt panels, 2,000-watt inverter, and 3,000-watt lithium iron phosphate batteries. Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I mean, it pays for itself the moment it's too expensive to get it out there.
Yeah,
so.
And then you have some power if the grid goes out.
Yeah,
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
Bebop got us 2 out of 5 super chats to extend this thing out 30 minutes. Everybody that got here a little late, we're going to try to run these an hour every week. And if we get 5 super chats, we'll go ahead and run it for an extra 30 minutes if people have more questions. So we'd like to thank Bebop for that super chat earlier. And
yeah,
just
thank
so everybody
you. That's
knows,
great.
Go ahead and help Eric out.
There we go. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. We're gonna stick around till exactly 8 o'clock. I guess did you just, unless you just said that we'll stick around a little longer because of that one? I can't remember what you said there. Was that, no, I didn't. Okay, I didn't hear that.
No.
So yeah. So if we get 5, then we will end up extending out 30 minutes. But other than that, we're gonna cut it off 30 minutes from now, and then we'll go from there.
All right, I got a question for Joe. If nobody else has a question, so he has the military generator for anybody that doesn't watch his channel, and I just want to know where you got it from, because either I missed that video or I don't remember you talking about it.
I intended to do the actual video, and you get busy and stuff just doesn't happen. I recorded literally everything. I recorded, like my screen whenever I bought it. I screen recorded or screen captured how I went through doing the freight and all that stuff, because I paid to have somebody ship it here, because it was cheaper to do that for me to drive out there and pick it up myself. And I videoed it being dropped off. I videoed everything, and I just sometimes just don't get to it.
Dude, I have hundreds of videos I never edited.
Yeah,
hundreds and hundreds. Yeah,
I do. I got so many videos that I record. Like I recorded one yesterday. I was going to try to do something with my water heater, and I could not get the freaking anode loose. So there's the end of the video, and it was pointless. Yep.
Yeah.
So I just scrapped that one again.
That's a bummer. Tell us the specs of that generator.
It's a 5 kW, so it's a big box, but it's a small diesel generator inside. It is oh man, I can't even remember what the engine is, but it's just a little 4-cylinder engine, diesel engine, and it runs amazing. I didn't have to I changed the filters, the fluids and all that kind of stuff, and I installed 2 batteries because the batteries that were in it were shot, and it literally started right up, and it came with like 3/4 of a tank of diesel in it. And they're supposed to be drained. But it just does amazing. So, and then of course now I use the Chargeverter to charge the batteries whenever I do use it. And I do need to go out there and start it, because I haven't started it in like a couple of months. Again, you intend to do things and life gets busy and you just don't do it. And then I was going to try to go out there like 2 weeks ago. We had like -5-degree weather. With the wind chill, it was like 35 below. I was going to try to do a cold start then. Couldn't actually get to the point to get out there to do it. I was doing so much other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the big box. It's a silencer box, so it's quieter than an average diesel generator and or gas generator.
Okay, that's cool.
It's got a full cooling system on it. It's like I could pull it out and throw it in a small car.
Nice.
Basically.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I want to get one day.
Get a 10K. I got a 5. Yeah. But that's all I could afford at the time. Oh yeah, I got it from sorry, you asked me where I got it from. The government auctions.
Gov deals or the surplus one?
Let me look here. I think it was
because a lot of the military stuff, like we know, it doesn't get used a lot, and then they'll sell it, and the thing's basically brand new a lot of times. So
yeah,
mine had get some deals.
Like 100 or maybe it only had 81 hours. It's either 181 or 81. I got it from
it's a baby.
GOV Government Planet, govplanet.com.
Okay.
And I just went through their shipping thing that they recommend, and that takes you to like another sister website, and then all the truckers bid on sending it to you or shipping it to you, and you get to pick whatever you want. It was pretty nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've never done anything like that. I did from an auction once buy like 25 fire extinguishers. That was fun. But
nice. Is there a story behind that one?
It was a friend whose dad passed away, who was a prepper, and he had just lots of everything, and I ended up buying
gotcha.
fire extinguishers. But I I needed one for the barn. I need a couple out here, and you know, just big property. I'd like to have them out there, so
Sure,
but I've got
that makes
twice
sense.
as many as I need. But I paid like the price of 2 regular fire extinguishers. So.
Right.
Let's see here. Richard has had some issues. He got a 6,000 XP, I believe it was, or was it 12,000? I can't remember, but it came with the screen not working, if I'm remembering right, and you weren't able to get the dongle to load, so you're trying to actually get into it so that you could run some tests to see what was going on with it. And looks like you did get the dongle to log in, so that's good. I'm curious though if what the process is of getting that thing returned back and getting a new one shipped out to you.
And did they let you take it apart to see if the screen was just disconnected? I was wondering.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I know that will void the warranty, but sometimes they'll let you do it, you know, because it
yeah,
might be
knowing
pretty simple to check
yeah.
it.
Yeah, because it could just be unplugged. That's a good point. All right, Bebop. I started out with a 50-watt panel and a 4 amp hour battery to run a tag light in my chicken coop.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of people start with that style of stuff or the Harbor Freight kits.
Yeah.
I wanted a Harbor Freight kit so bad. I'm not going to lie. When I was first getting interested, I was like, oh my gosh, Harbor Freight has this. I never got it. I never got it, though. I couldn't afford it. Yeah.
When we first get started, we think that one little panel is going to be so awesome.
Right.
And now I got a ton of them, and I'm like, this isn't enough.
Yeah. Was that your very, very first solar panel that you bought? Was the Harbor Freight one?
Harbor Freight, yep.
What about
Ran a
you,
light, and I
Eric?
thought I was doing something.
Was this I'm sorry, I was reading comments.
Your first solar panel. Do you remember what it was or where you got it?
Yeah. Well,
was it new or used?
So my first solar panel, actually, this is hilarious. I hadn't thought about this in a long time. When I got married back in 2007, to all my like groomsmen and the guys who were my wedding, I bought them solar panels, and I was really excited. I found this deal. I don't remember where I found it, but it was like these little solar panels that you would stick in the dashboard of your car, and it was going to charge your battery or whatever.
Yeah, a trickle charger. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what the specs were on it, but I mean, it probably put out like, I don't know,
1.2 watts.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 watts. One of my buddies that I gave it to, he was just like, dude, I've had this dead battery in my car, you know, whatever, and this stupid thing in my windshield for 3 weeks, you know, and it's still dead. And no, it's never gonna do anything. So this was a huge waste of money. I spent a ton of money on those. So those are the first panels I ever bought. And I did put one in my car too, and it was stupid. But then after that, the next one I bought was on a fence energizer to put out on our pasture for our goats. And that thing's still rocking. It was a Premier One. It was the biggest unit that they had at the time, probably still is. It still works out well. But the first like actual panel that I got for my system, it's these whatever it is, I want to say Gloria or something, panels that I bought used. And they're okay. They're old. You know, I would not do it again, but I would just buy newer, bigger panels. So, yeah.
My Premier One that I bought broke within like 6 weeks, and then they gave me another one. I had to go through this rigmarole trying to get them to send me another one. I'm like, this thing, it just doesn't work. And so they sent me another one, or actually they sent me the circuit card or something. I replaced it or something. And so it started working again for maybe 6 months, and then went out again. I contacted them again, and they wanted to give me a hard time again. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Really?
That's I just, it's not my fault. Y'all stuff broke. It's just sitting outside. I didn't do anything to it.
Yeah, it's supposed to sit outside.
Yeah. So that was a little frustrating.
I did notice that I've gotten a little bit of discoloration on my on my panel for that little inverter fence energizer. Just this year. In fact, it was just like a couple weeks ago. I walked by it and I'm like, it looks a little powdery. So it's probably just
powdery.
Yeah. It almost looks
Wow.
like it has like a frosting on it. But
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe
just
on
the
plastic panel.
The bus bars, or
no, on the panel itself. Yeah, and it's a plastic coated panel, so my guess is it's just the plastic is starting to disintegrate, just sitting out in the Texas heat for year after year after year.
My first solar panels, they were on a a road construction piece of equipment. I saw it on Craigslist.
Man,
it had two 45-watt panels on it, and I had to buy the entire trailer just for those panels, and I was so excited. I immediately drove out there and bought it, and then I pulled them off and sold the trailer.
Nice.
I still got them.
All right. Yeah, I remember hearing someone was talking, this was years ago, about how, those things would get auctioned off because they'd get cracked because a, car throw a rock at it or something. And yeah. Look at your comments. Mike asks if I have ever considered using a buried cistern, maybe 1,000 gallons to store water from the well. Maybe only fill it at night with the free energy and never worry about it. Yeah, I've considered this. I've thought many times about taking a even larger cistern and putting it up on the top of our property and just have a float valve on a timer so it'll only fill up at night, and then just use gravity to bring it back. I just haven't pulled the trigger on. In fact, I've even got, this is kind of cool. So I've got a water line going all the way back up to the highest part of my property. So if I've timed it all just right, I could have it fill it up and then use the same line to pressurize back, as long as I didn't get some weird bacteria that was gonna, go into the house or something. But yeah, I've considered stuff like that. The cistern is a great idea. I did just get my hot tub going, so I do have 300 gallons of water if I ever need it. Definitely running it through the Berkey.
Is it still sitting out there?
Yeah, it's still way down there by the well. Yeah, I did just yesterday get. I got a box from Lowe's with all the equipment I need to, all the new breakers and GFCI outlets and the sub panel and stuff. So it's going to be just on the other side of this wall. And I'm looking forward to that. It's so muddy right now. I can't hardly do anything outside. Let's see. We have Vox here. Sup, Homesteader jealous. Gosh, I cannot read out loud. You guys got on. Thanks for streaming. Play catch up. You guys way ahead of your Utopia vision. LOL. Yeah, man, we're all living the life. Man, I had a guy so mad at me today in one of the comments. It was on one of my most recent videos, and I invited him to come tonight, so maybe he's here listening. But he was so mad, just like, you're saving $475 in your electric bill, but that was clickbait. You didn't tell us, in the title and the description that you're going to have to spend $20,000 to save $400 a month. Like, well, first off, you're way off on your numbers, but it's not clickbait. And what am I supposed to pack all the information you ever wanted into the title?
That's what the video is for.
Yeah, the whole point was, let me show you that you can do this, and everything that I mentioned was correct. It's just like, it's so frustrating to me how people get bent out of shape if you do something for yourself and you move forward in life. This has nothing to do with you, Vox. But
it's all you.
Yeah, all you. You start it. Move forward in life, and then they get mad because they're stuck in a spot where they don't want to be, but they don't want to put forth the effort. They just want to get mad at you, and
let alone make a video about it.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
All right. There we go. Ditman, the man Dan. Hey Dan.
Ooh, Bebop. I gotta I got
Greetings from Lexington. Howdy. Sorry. All right. Bebop.
So sorry. I'm just reading the comment here. Bebop says he's waiting on a linear actuator to show up so he can possibly do tilting arrays. So I'm not sure if you've ever watched. I don't even know if I put it in a video. That could be another thing. Is my buddy the one that had one of his batteries blew up in his garage? Yeah, it just smoked. It didn't blow up. It just released all the smoke. He's got like a whole array. I think it's 9 panels that are sitting on the side of his house, and he's got maybe 4 to 5 linear actuators underneath them that he can tilt it all up to. I mean, I don't know how high the angle is, but it works. It works. You can totally do it. And then he's also got 2. They're kind of like pergolas, small pergolas that are like 8 by 8. There are 6 panels on there, and we made that one have linear actuators on it as well, so they can lay flat or they can go up to, again, I don't know what angle, but it 100% works. You can do it.
Very cool.
You can definitely do it.
Very cool. Yeah, that's exciting. Keep us posted on that.
Yeah, I've been trying to find out where to get some outdoor rated ones that will do my array, but all the ones I've seen, it didn't look like it'd be the right weight. But I might try some Vevor ones. I think that's who makes them. I saw on Amazon. I might try some because I've been wanting to do that too.
Yep.
There we go, Butch Williams. Mine was a
first solar
suction
panel.
cup VW panel. Yeah, I used on my camper. Very cool.
I think he probably still has it.
Richard, my first inverter was a 300 watt, 12 volts, and 1.75 watt solar panel on my RV. It worked great. I still have them. Nice. Nice. And Richard was chiming back in on the display. Eric, we're still working on doing updates. So I guess trying to get the firmware updates to see if that would fix the display. Just completed updates for the display, but still not working. Yeah, it's probably that ribbon cable.
Yeah, I bet you it's a cable.
Yeah.
I can't remember whose channel it was, but I've seen one person that they had to take it apart and just plug the ribbon in, and it started working. So
I'd take it apart. I'd take everything apart.
Yeah.
Mike Myers.
I'd contact them about the warranty first, though. But
right.
I installed 12,000 XP EG4. Hey, Mike, good to see you. 12,000 XP EG4 with mounted battery about 5 weeks ago. I have 8 370 watt panels, but only getting 1,200 watts on sunny days. I notice it's capping out at 12 or 120 volts until resets. Until reset. Why? So if you reset it, you'll get more voltage. Let me get that back up.
Yeah, put that back up. Let me read that again.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
It's only getting up to 120 volts.
Have you checked each panel individually? Maybe you have one panel that's bringing them all down, but that's one of them things you just have to disconnect and try them. I don't know. That's weird.
120 volts seems pretty low. I mean, are they all wired?
Yeah, for that many panels.
Mike, I know you've got your panels a good distance away. I'm wondering if voltage drop. I mean, that's pretty extreme. Are you using 10 gauge PV wire or 8, or what's your gauge? I'm curious. Because I mean, I can't imagine it'd be voltage drop. And I don't think it's that far, but it's probably a good 200 feet, maybe.
And then how many batteries do you have too?
One wall
Did you
mount.
say already? One wall mount?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be able to go into that.
And just updated the firmware yesterday as a possibility.
Interesting.
Waiting for some sun. Yeah, that, you know. And then jumping back over here. If I disconnect the over and then reconnect it, it goes up to 200, 300. Huh.
So you turn the disconnect off, turn it back on, and the voltage goes up. It might be a connection. I mean, you know, you need to check all your connections as well then.
Yeah, maybe one's getting hot.
You know, I will say, I just, I had a deal where for a couple days on my mini split, the sun would come up and I would get sun on the panels, but it wouldn't register as having any PV input. And I would turn off the PV disconnect, turn it back on, and then I would get, it would show up as normal. That only happened like 2 times, and I haven't had it happen since, but, so that's just something that I've seen where turning it off and back on did do something. Yeah.
What I would do is get another person to look at your inverter and see if the voltage moves and go kind of just check the connections. That's what I would do. But you know, don't pull anything apart. But see if it starts moving. If you wiggle a wire or something, and you might be able to find the location and then disconnect everything and work on it one at a time, and fix the connection maybe.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. That's frustrating though. Oh yeah, already did that one. Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to troubleshoot with every little bit of information that we would want and that we would try. So we just give you ideas. That's all we can do.
And it sucks doing it all by yourself too. That's what I do. I'm running up and down, up and down.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mike, if you need me to come over and try to take a look, like, I'm more than happy to do that. He lives pretty close to us, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Kevin, I have an EcoWorthy tracker running my EG4 mini split, and it works great. Thinking of doing a DIY setup, only bigger. Interesting.
You should do it.
Yep. Do it and then film it and then come tell us all about it. Did I miss something else?
How many panels you got on there?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I have a Sungold 5,048 volt charger inverter. The max solar input is 5,500. If I buy a second unit and run it in parallel, can I connect 11,000 watts of solar panels?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it works on those. Just like ours.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to make sense. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to either.
Just depending on how many batteries. Let's see, did it say anything about batteries? Just depending on how many batteries you have, as long as they'll take the amps that you got.
Yeah. Well, that's if you're using communication.
Yeah. I guess the BMS might kick it out at some point, but
yeah. Just let it go. Send it.
Send it.
Oh, here we go. All right, the other mic. Okay, I had the exact same issue on one of my older 6500 EXs. Sometimes it would magically recover, and other times I had to cycle the PV disconnect. Maybe it's a specific mppt issue.
Interesting.
Okay. Thought maybe you had a solution. That'd been cool. Are you able? Yeah, that's a good point. Are you able to use one of the other MPPTs? Mike, try that if you, because I don't think you don't have it maxed out, do you? I don't think you're anywhere close to maxing it out. Yeah, try try sticking the disconnecting and then sticking that array into the other MPPT and see what that does. That's a great suggestion.
I agree.
Well, let's see, more questions. 6 panels bifacial, added supports to existing Unistrut. So that's on your tracking array. Cool.
6 panels of bifacial.
What size are the bifacial panels?
Yeah, I'm wondering what
that
size
seems like a lot.
Because everybody tells me to try those trackers, but I've got the big ass panels, so I don't know how many I could actually fit on them.
You probably can only get like 2 or 3.
Yeah, but maybe he's got a. Oh, he added supports to the existing, so he made it bigger, which is something that I would do as well.
Yeah. I've had one of those sitting in my yard for almost a year, and I haven't installed it yet.
Really? Yeah.
It's like underneath my panels, the box is all deteriorated.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
So guys, in 4 minutes, we're shutting the stream down unless we, use a little extortion here and get 3 more super chats for $2 or more. Most of which goes to YouTube, but hey, that's our.
Come on, you want to pay YouTube and then Mike.
Yeah. If we get 5 super
Here's
chats,
my cat.
There's your cat. Just saw a tail go past your face.
Yep.
If we get 5 super chats total tonight, we will extend the stream another 30 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to hang up, and we will be back next week for sure with Adam DeLay swapping back out for Average Joe here. And we'll probably have Joe back because this has been fun, and you've been a lot of help here in the chat.
I don't know about that.
So
you're gonna have to find somebody for me next week.
Okay, well maybe that. And if Gavin just came into the chat, and if he doesn't get too scared, we'll have to have him on as well. We've been talking about that for a while. Got here late. Good chat, guys. Thanks, Gavin.
Gavin, we need a super chat. 3.
That's right. That's right. You can do them back to back. That's fine. Yeah, there we go.
You bet, Bebop.
Yeah, and good ideas on the MPPT stuff. Let's see. We got another question here. Do you have the same number of panels connected to each PV input? I guess that's in relation to Mike and his 12,000 XP issue.
I'm guessing he has it on 1.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. Bebop shopping generators. Pretty cool.
Now, if he does have it separated and going to 2, that's probably the problem. The voltage is probably getting too low, and that's why it's kicking out. But
yeah. So Bebop, I would just avoid any of the Generac stuff with the cosense nonsense, because man, I've got a video with thousands of people who have said, I bought this thing and 2 days later, the darn thing fell apart, stopped working. So I teach people how to cut it out. Yep. So
I just bought a big Harbor Freight generator, and I mean, that's what I recommend. But they make way better stuff than they used to. I have an old Harbor Freight generator that's way more than 10 years old, and it still works. And then I bought this bigger one that's like a tri-fuel one, just so I can charge it with 2 Chargeverters on my solar system. And I guess I need to make a video of it, but it's working great. So
yeah, you do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Harbor Freight has upped their game significantly in the past.
Yep, Mike's got the Harbor Freight 9500 Jenny and loves it. That's a big boy right there. You need barrels of gas or whatever it is.
I'm gonna use propane. I got some of that.
Yeah. You need hundreds of gallons of propane. Okay, we're coming up quick, and the chats are flying now. Mike's MPPT issue.
They're
firmware should solve
it.
Man, I sure hope so. That was a known issue. Okay, and they came up with a firmware to remedy it. Good. Gavin is an authority in that situation for sure. So I would say, if he says it's going to fix it, Mike, I'd say that's as good as done. So yeah, Mike, hopefully let us know Let me know tomorrow if that fixes it. I'd like to hear. And Bebop's got a Chargeverter on the way. Whoop, whoop. You know that. In fact, here we go. Is it going to play? It didn't play. Oh, it didn't play. Oh, man. Oh, all of my my sound effects are muted. Oh, they're muted here. Oh, there we go. There it is. All right. And
nice.
That's actually that's the go home bell as well.
Oh,
that's that one. Sorry, one last. Vivid Vega series. Okay, had to look it up. They're good panels. Okay, so this is these are your bifacials. Gotcha. 16 on my 600, I guess 6000 XP. Sitting on ground mounts. Okay, good deal. Guys, thank you everybody who joined us tonight. Good chat, fellas. I agree. There we go. Another. Yeah, there we go, Mitch. All right, so
we didn't get to talk about water heaters.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about water heaters.
We forgot about that.
That's okay.
Only we had a couple extra super chats. Next time. There we go. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Average Joe, for joining us. Thanks, Rodney, for being here as always. We'll be back. We'll be back. I don't know. I got a couple extra BBBs in there. We will be back next week, same time, same day, Thursdays at 8 Eastern time, 7 Central. And we'll be back just to hang out and do all this again. So thanks, everybody. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next week.